And we're back. All right. So I have a little bit of a rant to go on today. Well, when the fuck do I not have a rant to go on? But anyways, I digress. Last night was a wrestling pay-per-view night. So I was a big wrestling mark for a very long time. Very long time. Been a fan since like the 80s, right? Since I was a little kid, and was super mega into it for a long time. And then kind of through all of John Cena's reign, I tuned out because I thought it started to suck, and I was not a Cena fan. Nothing against Cena, but it's just I always thought he should have turned heel, and I understand why he didn't do it. He did a lot of Make-A-Wish. I think he's like the most requested Make-A-Wish celebrity of all time, and so good on him, and good job, John, for not turning and making sure you were there for those kids. But also from a fan's perspective, it was just really boring to see this guy, like, good guy, babyface, unstoppable. Like, it was too 80s Hulk Hogan-y, gimmicky, right? So, and we had already had that, and we had it with Hogan, who had, in my estimation, a lot more charisma than John. John's probably a better worker, but Hogan had more charisma. And I also never appreciated the bullshit white rapper gimmick. So just for all of those reasons, I was never a big Cena fan, and I don't like the whole like unbeatable babyface trope to begin with. So it's just annoying. Anyways, I tuned out for a long time, and then my cousin brought me back in. So I've been back in since for a couple of years probably. So last night, well, before last night, for a long time they've been running this this gimmick of the bloodline, this Samoan family, who, by the way, this particular Samoan family is really like the royalty in professional wrestling, right? It's where The Rock comes from, and Roman Reigns, who's the current champion, and the Wild Samoans, who were pioneers, and just everybody, right? And the Usos, who are the tag team champs, and just really, really incredible lineage and legit badasses, right? So there's this really fun storyline going with these guys who kind of adopted this Canadian guy to be in the crew, and he was basically bullied out of the crew and he was the most popular member of the faction, and that upset the head of the faction. So they turned on him. He turned on them first, I guess, and then they turned on him to beat the shit out of him. It's good stuff, right? And so he had his chance at the title last night, and while there was very little chance that he was actually going to win, because Roman's on this like 900-day championship run, which is unheard of nowadays, right? Like unprecedented. And he's got both heavyweight titles, so Roman's untouchable. But Sammy, outside of like what is realistic and not, it's a TV show, it's a scripted television show, and the benefit of it, what it has going for it, is that you can hear the fans, you can see what they want, you can respond to that, you can reply to what the fans are asking you for in real time. That's their biggest asset, and they continuously ignore it, right? Like, the fan base has to pretty much like rebel in order for the leadership of the organization to pay attention to what the fans want. And even though I had hoped that wouldn't be the case yesterday, it turned out to be the case. It reminded me, and not just me, like a lot of people have been thinking about this as the same as this guy Mick Foley back in the 90s. winning the belt when he wasn't supposed to. Like, nobody expected him to win the belt, and he won the belt, had a huge reaction, and they took the belt off of him almost immediately. Like, he won it Monday, they took it off of him on Thursday. I may be exaggerating, I don't remember the exact details, but it was very quick, very short reign. But they got a reaction out of the crowd. It changed the landscape of the sport, like legitimately changed the trajectory of the company. And it was just a moment in time that even now, 20-something years later, they're still using. They replay all the time. And last night just felt like such a perfect opportunity to do that again. They were in Montreal, where Sammy is from. And he's white hot. Had every reason to win outside of the "it's not believable," that silly fucking mega fan that doesn't understand this is a television show bullshit. And it would have just made for like a historic, monumental, just epic moment that would have been replayed for the next 25 years. Just that reaction would have been extraordinary, and just a missed opportunity, for the moment. They could have taken the belt off of him Monday night. They could have taken the belt off of him Friday night. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, they could have done anything to get back on course, what they think is the course that the company needs to go on, but they could have had this once in a lifetime moment, because it would have been even bigger than what Mick Foley's reaction was back in the 90s. So, just a huge missed opportunity. I was disappointed that I thought Hunter was going to do the right thing. I thought Hunter was going to be a little bit less Vince-like and not listen to the fans and ignore what the fans are desperately asking for. But alas, here we are. The last time I think this happened was in like 2014 with this guy named Bryan Danielson, who the fans just desperately wanted to win the Royal Rumble, and then he got eliminated, and the rest of the night the fans just chanted, "This is bullshit," to the point where they had to change the plans. So Batista, I think, won that year. Again, this is when I was not interested in the product, so I just had to go back and find this out. But they had to rewrite the program so that it ended up being a three-way match at WrestleMania, and Danielson got shoehorned back into the program because the fans were just so rebellious. And I really thought they could have avoided that same nonsense. It just took the wind out of the arena yesterday when Roman pinned Sammy. They tried to give us a little bit of a little consolation prize by having him kick him at the end of the night, kick them in the face, but it's too little too late. And they're setting up a program with this other guy and Sammy to team up against the Usos, I think, and it'll be fine. It'll be great. We're going to WrestleMania. Like, I'm taking my kids to WrestleMania. Like, I'm still gonna cheer, but they had lightning in a bottle, and they just looked the other way. It was silly shit. So beyond that, okay. So they could have just squeezed a little bit more juice out of that storyline. And like I said, they could have taken the belt off Sammy tomorrow, or Monday night, or Friday night, or whatever. They could have done any number of things to correct course and get back on track. I understand I wanted to take the belt off of Roman after 900 days, but they should have also not probably put two belts on Roman indefinitely. Like, I understand that they didn't think they had another person in the company that could carry one of the belts, but now they're stuck, right? Now Cody Rhodes is probably going to win the belts at Mania, and it's not going to be anywhere near the reaction that Sammy would have had last night. That's the thing. Like, they're in the business of making compelling television. Last night was the perfect opportunity to make compelling television, and they opted to not take that opportunity. And that's where the missed opportunity is, right? Like, I understand that there's a lot of fans out there where, ooh, it doesn't make sense realistically that Sammy would beat Roman, the tribal chief, and blah, 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 blah. Shut up. Shut up. It's a TV show. It's a TV show. that is intended to make compelling television. And they didn't do that last night. They had an arena that fell completely flat as a result of their booking decision. A booking decision that they could have corrected tomorrow. So, there's that. When do I get my letter from WWE offering me a job? That's all I need. I'm joking. Underneath that, though, on the card was an Elimination Chamber match, which was fantastic. And the guys just killed it. They put on a great Elimination Chamber, like one of the best I think I've ever seen. So kudos to those guys for busting their ass and putting on a great show. Seth Rollins is a fucking treasure. Like, he should be champion next. He's just killing it. He's way over. Like, the company, I think right now has like 4 bona fide mega stars on their hands. Roman is undeniable. Roman is my favorite fucking character. Like, he's just killing the game. Roman, I especially love like psychopath, megalomaniac, why don't you people love me, Roman. Sammy, who's like the ultimate underdog, a la Mick Foley. Cody Rhodes, who is very much his own person, but also channeling like all of the greatness of his dad, which is really beautiful to see. And just a great worker, but also like just incredible on the microphone, and like I said, is doing so much to honor his dad's legacy while building his own. It's beautiful. And Seth Rollins is a fucking beast, just on the mic, in the ring, top shelf, like incomparable. Probably my favorite of those 4 as a worker. Roman is just special. You know, Roman is one of those guys that like once in a generation type of guys. Cody is great. Sammy's a perfect underdog, but Seth is damn, you know. There, you know, like how much bigger would Randy be, the Macho Man, if Hogan wasn't around, right? Maybe we don't know, right? We will never know. But how much bigger would had Hunter been if The Rock wasn't around, right? How much bigger would Batista have been if Cena wasn't around? Like, that's how I feel about Seth. Like, got once in a generation guy. Yeah, that's the question with Seth, right? Is can he break out of now Roman's shadow? But Roman's just casting a massive shadow, right? And rightfully so. Once in a lifetime. But Seth could also be that guy if Roman wasn't around. So can they coexist? Can they live together? Can they be Rock and Austin? That's the question. Like, that was a special symbiotic once in a generation relationship, right? Like Randy and Hogan, very much 1 and 2. Cena and Batista, very much 1 and 2. Rock and Hunter, 1 and 2 when Austin was out hurt. But Austin and Rock, you can't tell me 1 and 2. I feel so lucky that I got to see those guys in real time, week in and week out. So, can Seth step out and be 1-1 with Roman? I hope so. He's fucking special, spectacular. So, but that was a good match, and everybody showed up and showed out. It was great. I thought they should have put the strap on this kid Montez, who I think is also, you know, the future. If they can do what they need to do what they are very good at doing, and building stars. So there's that. I don't know how good he is on the mic though. Like, I haven't seen enough of him on the mic to know if he's got that it. There's guys that just have that it that sets them apart. So we got that, and then beneath that was what I thought was a hilarious match between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. That was like, 3 to 5 minutes of very manly men with a lot of there's a lot of juice in that ring, just beating the shit out of each other for 3 to 5 minutes. And then I like the finish, because it just means that we're going to get to see this match in like a no DQ situation at WrestleMania, which I think is going to be great. Like, fucking nasty spots, people going through tables, people getting beat the shit out of with chairs. Like, I think the only rational place this goes is a no DQ match at WrestleMania, and I'm all for that. So they did a little shitty, DQ bullshit finish where Brock kicked Bobby in the nuts, and I was fine with it. And the fans online are very up in arms about it. Oh, it was anticlimactic, blah 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 blah. If it sets up a brawl with these two monsters at Mania, I'm 100% for it. Then Edge and his wife versus Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor. Rhea Ripley is a fucking star. She is the future of the women's division, 100%. Her and Liv Morgan are the future of the women's division, and she was great. I was expecting her to have the pin, but they gave it to Edge. I think just to keep moving the storyline along. We'll get some other kind of Edge and Finn Balor match at WrestleMania, which is fine. Finn is also a great worker. Edge is Edge, Hall of Famer, blah 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 blah. You all know, and if you don't, look it up. But I thought Rhea was gonna win or get the pin, because they're pretty much like they're setting her up to be the next big breakout star, which she deserves. She's a fucking beast, right? Like, just an incredible worker. She's, her aura, her energy, her vibe is great. It's perfect for professional wrestling. And then okay, so anyways, Rhea's a star. She's gonna win the title at Mania, which is great. I'm all for it. I think they should strap a rocket to her back and fucking let her go. What else? And then the opener was the women's Elimination Chamber match. The finish was fine. I like Asuka. I think she's incredible and stiff worker. Like, she's nasty. But I was really hoping that Liv Morgan would win. I think she's the future, man. She's just, her charisma, her attitude, her connection to the fans. Like, I understand why Asuka won. Like, it's fine, and I think her and Bianca are gonna have a great, like, stiff match that's gonna compete with anything else on the cards. But from a fan service perspective, I think Liv should have won. And again, I think Liv is the future. So yeah, that's it. That's the Elimination Chamber recap. Big news. My cousin Brian, who was in the first episode of Just the Tip, he wants to start a wrestling podcast. So we're gonna do it. His angle is his buddy Antonio is kind of a casual fan. I'm the been watching the product since the 80s guy. I got to enjoy all of the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars, and I was an NWO mark from day one. But also I hated WCW, so I love the NWO, but I was so glad to see WCW die. I'm a WWE fan for life, like, even though I hate the shit that they do sometimes. So the angles are all different, right? And Brian's very much a, like, mega fan, into the dirt sheets, into all the indies, knows all these wrestlers that I'm always like, what the fuck is that? So that's going to be the angle. So we'll drop one of those soon, but I just wanted to riff a little bit on Elimination Chamber, because last night as I was watching, I was thinking all these things anyway, so figured I'd share them, because you know, you guys really care about what the fuck I have to say. So anyways, just that's it. All right, bye.